Hey everyone! Thanks for joining me at COVID-19 Reflections and Realizations with King podcast. I am Lindsay and William Casasola, a third year college student taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Social Studies. Today is June 10, 2021, and we are in Poblacion de Bohol, which I am currently residing, and it is currently pouring rain right now. I hope you are all safe and sound. Enjoy the show. Philippines was one of the high-risk countries from the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak, recorded the first death outside China. The government has announced lockdown of Metro Manila, followed by the entire Luzon Island, and is mulling over more localized lockdowns. Undeniably, this pandemic was tough. It changes our way of life and made us adapt in this new normal. And in tough situations, we tend to reflect and realize things about our life, ourselves, and our actions. And that is why I created this podcast. This is a safe space for everyone to divulge their personal reflections and realizations during this COVID-19 pandemic, share their thoughts and life lessons and how they were able to cope and adjust this pandemic. The goal here is to share and be heard, listen, reflect, and realize that will make us ponder on what's important and be inspired and motivated with the experiences and messages of our guests. Join the sharing at COVID-19 Reflections and Realizations with King. You can also follow me on Facebook at Lindsay and V. Casasola and on Instagram at Anna Yasnil. Hello and good day to everyone who listens to this podcast. I am Lindsay and William Casasola, also known as King, and I am your host for today. A lot has been going on, and I bet you know what I mean. COVID-19 has been going on. According to the World Health Organization, COVID-19 is a disease caused by a new strain of coronavirus. CO stands for corona, VI for virus, and D for disease. Formerly, this disease was referred to as 2019 novel coronavirus, or also known as 2019 nCoV. The COVID-19 virus is a new virus linked to the same family of viruses as severe acute respiratory syndrome and some other types of common cold. And because of this COVID-19 virus, I know a lot of us have been through a lot since the pandemic happened. This pandemic is surely a roller coaster. A lot of ups and downs has been going on. And so I decided to share reflections and realizations during this pandemic in this episode. And hopefully, this will also make you ponder on things and realize what's needed to be realized. Good day. So today we have a special guest, and I am so grateful that she was able to respond to my request for an interview, and gladly she accepted it. Please kindly introduce yourself.
First and foremost, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity. And by the way, I am Roan Mas Delgado, a resident from Tupicon.
Before we get into the details, how are you today?
Well, I guess I'm all good and I'm feeling great and blessed for today.
Well, that's great. So today we are going to share and tackle about our life experiences during this COVID-19 pandemic. So the occurrence of this pandemic was so sudden that struck the entire world in just a blink of an eye. And we never anticipated for it to happen in the Philippines, specifically in Bohol, and of course, in our community, wherein we would take adjustments in every aspects of our lives. So, how was your life during this pandemic?
Well, the impact of the change that this pandemic has given us wasn't easy for me, for all of us, for we all know that we are in the same sea, but the reality is we aren't in the same boat. You know, this pandemic made me realize how could the word change could really affect my life, our life.
What do you think has greatly changed in your life previously that we don't have this COVID-19 pandemic and now that we are in this pandemic?
Back then, when life was still normal, I felt like everything was on track. I was busy with my schoolworks, school responsibilities, and even the outside community, and some stuffs at home, like the casual things I usually do. And my mindset back then, living that kind of life is indeed productive for me already. Yet when this pandemic had happened, I thank God for He opened an opportunity for me to ponder for myself and to be productive in building who I really want to be and who really am I.
If I may ask, what course are you currently taking up, Miss Roanne?
I'm currently a fourth year student taking a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Filipino.
So now that you are in fourth year in college, a step away from graduating, were you still adjusting or adapting in this new normal setting of education, or what were your adjustments? Have you ever felt any pressure studying through online classes?
Though we've finished 2 semesters already, yet I guess there's still some adjustments that I need to do. Aside from the casual problems that we encounter, like the loss of internet connection, financial problems, I think what I need to still cope up and adopt is the new way of learning. Like, how can I still improve my way of self learning despite the pressures and stress I've been facing these days? Yes, there were pressure, especially when you were the one who is expected to help the ones who are having a hard time without them knowing that you too had the difficulty to adjust. Yet I think of it that pressure is already part of our school life.
So, if you are to rate yourself from 1 to 10 and 10 as the highest, how effective and productive are you as a learner in this new normal setting in education?
Well, to be honest, I guess I'll rank myself 7.
Why 7 and not 10?
Honestly, I haven't seen myself that focused the way I am back then. For my time was divided indeed to a lot of stuffs. For aside from studying, I need to do frontlining, plus the household chores, and I need to do extra jobs to help in our financial problem. Plus, I need to give service to the school then and then to maintain my scholarship.
If I were to be asked with the same question, I would rank myself as 5 because ever since this semester that I am currently taking right now, I feel like learning is in query. I guess online class is really not for me. And I learned a lot from instructors or teachers discussing the lessons face to face. And having this online class is very difficult for me. And I tend to procrastinate a lot. So, yeah. What do you think was the greatest challenge you've encountered amidst this pandemic?
For me, the greatest challenge I've encountered this pandemic is how could I stand firm with my faith? For there were times that you suddenly felt like you lost that connection with Him. Like you are boomerang with the new normal, the change, the pressure, the stress. That you still need to find your way back to Him.
This would be the last question before you would like to give a message to those learners who are currently taking this online class and who are also experiencing and encountering the same experiences as your experiences with the scholarships, with the frontlining, and others. So the last question would be, what was your greatest realization about yourself during this pandemic?
This pandemic made me realize that there's so much more in life. So as there's so much more for me that I can still be more than what I've become yesterday. For back then, I was that kind of Roan who loved more the people who surrounded me without realizing that I've lost that kind of love for myself. The heartbreaks, the pressure and change the pandemic had gave me opened a new door of opportunities for me. Opportunities that would help me to build who I wanted to be.
Before we end this interview, Miss Roanne, please give a message to those learners who are currently taking this online class and who are also having difficulties and problems with regards to their studies, and to those students who are also managing a lot of works done all at once. What would you like to advise to them?
Things may not go back to normal. You may need to create new normal. And that's okay. You fall, you break into pieces. And that's okay. You felt like you were left behind. And it's still okay. You know what is not okay? Is you staying at that pain and pressure. What was not okay is you giving up and losing the fight. May we continue to see the silver lining of this pandemic. We have all made sacrifices over the past few months. And I just want to say that you guys are incredibly strong facing those challenges the pandemic had gave us. Keep fighting, for we are one in this new normal. Keep safe, everyone.
That was one emotional, serious, and of course, heartwarming interview with you, Miss Roanne. Thank you so much for having this interview with me, and it was an honor and a great privilege for me to have you as my interviewee. Thank you so much for giving your time and effort for answering my questions and giving an inspirational and motivational and meaningful message to those students who are currently taking this online class, who are having difficulties, pressure, and problems with regards to their studies and other works done. And hopefully, this will make others, especially students, make them ponder on things and realize what's needed to be realized in this new normal setting in education, and to those people who are facing a lot of difficulties and challenges in life during this pandemic. the community as well as to ourselves. We can simply follow the health protocols that are set by the DOH or the Department of Health and the government to help beat this pandemic. Even the simplest things like wearing masks, staying at home, social distancing, as much as possible, prevent gatherings. These simple acts can have an enormous impact in saving a lot of lives. Remember that the best life lesson is learned during the hard and challenging times. During these trying times, I realized how to think about the positive side more than the negative ones. Because if we will be thinking about the negative side, will it do us anything? Will it make our situation better? Of course not. Let us heal as one and beat this pandemic together. Let us all be safe and have faith. Fighting! Thank you for tuning in this episode. Keep safe, everyone.